Hello, fabulous Sagittarius. Welcome to your horoscope for the month of August 2018, looking at life and love. I am your astrologer, Nadiya Shah. Thank you for being here. What an amazing month it is. We have an important sky. As we start this month, we are still in eclipse season. As I spoke to you about it last month, it is an extended eclipse season. So last month we had 2 eclipses. Now those eclipses were pretty intense, especially the lunar eclipse late last month. But now as we enter this month, we are moving towards a final in this series, 3rd eclipse. And this is happening in fellow fire sign Leo. It is an energy that's that much easier for you to work with. And this is an energy of new beginnings on the one hand, but also closure because it will close off this eclipse season. Take advantage of these first days of the month because this will allow you to see the spiritual lessons playing out in your life that much easier and that much more clearly. But ultimately, there is real power here and real empowerment for you as well. As I look at this sky with this eclipse happening on the 11th of the month, give or take a day on either side, depending on where you are on the planet, but it is happening hand in hand with a retrograde Mercury. Now, think back, July. Mercury was retrograde, or we were in retrograde season. And this month, all month, is retrograde season as well. But what's unique is that this eclipse happening hand in hand with Mercury, well, Mercury's been here before because right now Mercury's retrograde at the eclipse. And Mercury will return to the place of this eclipse later on in the month, about 2 weeks later. And so what this tells me is that while normally an eclipse has surprise moments and, things and events and opportunities coming out of nowhere, the difference now is that it won't exactly be out of nowhere. Chances are there's already conversations happening around it. There's already connections that you've made. And chances are that it won't just be the days around the eclipse that matter, but whatever it is that transpires or starts or inspires will start to come together more fully later on after the eclipse, once Mercury returns to the eclipse point. Also, this eclipse will be speaking with Jupiter, and Jupiter, of course, being your ruling planet. This is a conversation of some tension, and for you in particular, I feel like there's going to be a sense of a lot stirring within you, a lot stirring within your soul. Possibly your own fears are going to come forward at this time, but ultimately it is about releasing those fears, having faith in yourself, having faith in your life. That is part of the lessons and the spiritual learning over the course of this eclipse season. So this particular eclipse is happening in a part of the sky that is considered your home in the sky. So it is areas of life that are of particular interest to you, making it that much more important to you as well. These are long distance travel, immigration, citizenship, higher learning, legal matters. All of these are going to be highlighted for you when it comes to this eclipse. So if it is that you are engaged in a process of immigration or citizenship or even just planning a trip, well, look, any trips taken around this time very likely are going to have a profound effect and very likely are going to be deeply healing as part of making you aware of your own fears, which, that's what tends to happen when you travel, and especially for you and your sign, when you travel, you meet yourself that much more. Well, that becomes that much more likely at this time of this eclipse. The other part, as I said, immigration, citizenship, because Mercury is involved, it's like there's a lot of documents and letters. So you want to be mindful of that and keep your eye out for that. It isn't the time to submit any documents because Mercury is retrograde. So it's almost as if you send in some documents, well, chances are you're going to have to do something over again or do something a little bit differently. And a much more smoother process very likely will show itself to you by the time we get to the end of the month. However, it can be a time to consider what you have done before, and if it is that you did something before, like submitting documents or gathering documents or whatever's involved in that, well, this is going to be a time when you find yourself having to pay more attention to these matters as well. Higher education, if you are in an institute of higher learning, whether you're a student or you work in an institute of higher learning, chances are there will be changes on that front and new opportunities in that environment for you. You add to this legal matters and even political matters. This can be a time when you feel like you want to be more active in those realms, or you want to just learn more about those areas as well. But ultimately, this part of the sky has to do with understanding your place in the world. This is something that you are here to do as part of your life journey, is to more and more uncover where it is that you are in relation to the world. And so philosophically or literally, this eclipse is going to help you to take leaps forward in that regard. And in the process, maybe face some things about yourself that ultimately, by looking at them, will allow you to heal them that much more deeply and embrace your place in the world that much more. As we move forward, it is the 26th of the month. Again, you want to give or take a day on either side, but this is so much concentrated energy happening right at the same time that it just, it just got my attention, put it that way. What's happening? Well, this is the day when Mercury will return to the eclipse point, now direct, wrapping up the Mars retrograde season, which actually ends at the very beginning of September. But this is one of those final moments, and this is one of those peak moments as part of the Mars retrograde season as well. And this is going to be a time when, very likely, what occurred earlier at the eclipse, that final of 3 eclipses, well, this is where you get the insight, this is where you get the clarity, this is where you know whom it is you need to speak to, what document you need to fill out, or you have even just a synchronistic moment in the right place at the right time, meeting the right person, and it makes all the difference. It's the information that you need to more fully realize the potential of the eclipse in the early part of the month. But what's also happening at this time? Well, one thing that's happening is a full moon. Now, given all these eclipses we've had and the intensity around them, this is going to be a very different energy. It is much softer. It is much sweeter as well. And it is speaking, this full moon is speaking in harmony with Uranus and with Saturn. And I really like this. It's almost like it's stabilizing, but it's exciting. It's looking to the future, but being grounded as well. And so it is a beautiful energy happening at home. And so this could be buying, selling, moving, new roommate. This could be spending more time with your family of origin, your parents in particular, where that applies, or in some way feeling like you are going home. But this looks to be a beautiful process, a process and a journey that you are enjoying very much, where you're feeling that much more connected to others and that much more understanding of where you've been. This part of the sky also has to do with forgiving the past. And so wherever it is that you need to allow a deeper forgiveness to take place, you will find a way to make that happen. And more importantly, it's a personal process and a personal journey. And you will find the awakening within you that you need in order to truly understand the past differently and to understand it in a way that ultimately is liberating and allows you to live more fully in the present and in the future. Also, same day, if all that wasn't enough, we also have on the same day Mars going direct. Mars will go direct that day, and Mars will go direct in a part of the sky for you that has to do with money you spend and money you earn. I talked all about this in the Mars retrograde special horoscope that I did that's on my website and in the Superstar space. But this really is a moment, an important moment for you. If it is that you are one of the people who has experienced some spiritual learning through the tool of finances, whether it's money you earn or money that you spend, this is going to be a real empowerment moment, and a moment where you feel like wherever it was, it felt like the energy was stagnant, or it felt like there was some frustration. This is where you start to feel things move forward in a way that feels that much more empowering. So things should start to feel a lot more positive going forward from here. Now, where it comes to matters of love, Venus this month, as we move, the last 3 weeks of the month, will move into a part of the sky for you that has to do with friendships. It has to do with groups that you belong to. I think this is going to make you feel very social. It's going to have you connecting with people. and connecting with people on a heart level. On the surface, it may look very friendly, which is a beautiful thing, but more personally, it may very well be a very romantic thing. So if you are open to meeting someone new, what I would say, very likely there's going to be a lot of invitations. So accept those invitations, be willing to connect with your friends, whether you're hanging out with friends and you end up connecting with someone, whether a friend sets you up with somebody, or whether it is that you find yourself having feelings for a friend, that can develop at this time. Now, Mercury is retrograde, remember that. So you may reconsider your position or your opinion, and that really is okay. Also, because with this particular energy, it looks for this month in particular that it could be a beautiful journey, learning about love through friendship. For those of you in an established bond, there tends to be a desire now to bring love and friendship together. And so whether it is that you are spending more time with your partner, with friends, and doing more social things together, or whether it is that you're experiencing a greater sense of companionship and friendship with this person that you love, it is ultimately a journey that feels that much more rewarding. But I do want you to be mindful around the 26th again, right? Lots happening that day, including Venus speaking with Pluto. This is where friends and love doesn't seem to mix. There could be some power struggles there. So where you can, strive to separate the two. But for the most part, this is going to be beautiful energy for enjoying your life together. What I love about this month for you, well, look, there's a lot going on. Of course, there's a lot going on late in the month. But I do love that eclipse for you. I love that it's in fellow fire sign. I think you're going to be able to use the energy to your advantage. And I love how it aligns you with a higher, more loving, and more wise path for your life. That really is what eclipses are about. They are karmic and they are purposeful. Strive to see how it is that there's meaning playing out in your smallest moments. But chances are this eclipse, a solar eclipse in this part of the sky, is going to be bold and beautiful. Well, thank you so much for watching. You can get a video like this every week by logging on to astrofabulous.com or nadiyashah.com. Sign up to be one of my superstars. Superstars get expanded, exclusive video scopes, unlimited access to special horoscopes, and so much more in the superstar space. I look forward to meeting you there. It'll be a great month. Enjoy.